Welcome to today's On This Day in Tudor History with me, Claire Ridgway, author of several Tudor history books. Now, where am I taking you back to today? Well, I'm taking you back to the early months of Queen Mary I's reign. But on this day in Tudor history, the 18th of August 1553, less than a month after his daughter-in-law, Lady Jane Grey, or Queen Jane, had been overthrown by Queen Mary I, John Dudley, Duke of Northumberland, was tried for treason at Westminster Hall in London. As I explained in my talk from the 21st of July, Northumberland had been arrested in Cambridge on the 21st of July 1553 after Mary had been officially proclaimed the rightful Queen in London. Queen Jane had ruled for just 13 days, and while Northumberland had been travelling with a force to apprehend Mary, Jane's remaining council had betrayed her and proclaimed for Mary. Northumberland had been taken to the Tower of London on the 25th of July 1553 to await trial. And on this day in 1553, Northumberland was taken to Westminster for his trial. Merchant tailor and diarist Henry Machin recorded, "The 18th day of August was arraigned at Westminster Hall the Marquis of Northampton and the Duke and the Earl of Warwick, and so they were condemned to be had to the place that they came from, and from thence to be drawn through London unto Tyburn, and there to be hanged, and then to be cut down, and their bowels to be burnt, and their heads to be set on London Bridge and other places." Another contemporary source, the Chronicle of Queen Jane, gives the following record of Northumberland's trial. The 18th of August, John Dudley, Duke of Northumberland, William Parr, Marquis of Northampton, and John, Earl of Warwick, son and heir to the Duke, were arraigned at Westminster Hall before Thomas, Duke of Norfolk, High Steward of England, where the Duke of Northumberland, with great reverence towards the judges, protested his faith and allegiance to the Queen, whom he confessed grievously to have offended, and said that he meant not anything in defence of his fact, but requested to understand the opinion of the court in 2 points. First, whether a man doing any act by authority of the Prince's Council and by warrant of the Great Seal of England, and doing nothing without the same, might be charged with treason for anything which he might do by warrant thereof. Secondly, whether any such persons as were equally culpable in that crime, and those by whose letter and commandments he was directed in all his doings, might be his judges or pass upon his trial as his peers. Whereunto was answered that as concerning the first, the great seal which he laid for his warrant was not the seal of the lawful queen of the realm, nor passed by authority, but the seal of a usurper, and therefore could be no warrant to him. As to the second, it was alleged that if any were as deeply to be touched in the case as himself, yet so long as no attainder were of record against them, they were nevertheless persons able in law to pass upon any trial, and not to be challenged therefore, but at the Prince's pleasure. After which answer, the Duke used few words, but confessed the indictment, by whose example the other prisoners arraigned with him did the like, and thereupon had judgment. And when the judgment was given, it is said that the Duke should say, "I beseech you, my lords all, to be humble suitors to the Queen's Majesty, to grant me 4 requests, which are these. First, that I may have that death which noblemen have had in times past, and not the other. Secondarily, that her Majesty will be gracious to my childer, which may hereafter do her grace good service, considering that they went by my commandment, who am their father, and not of their own free wills. Thirdly, that I may have appointed to me some learned men for the instruction and quieting of my conscience. And fourth, that she will send 2 of the council to common with me, to whom I will declare such matters as shall be expedient for her and the Commonwealth. And thus I beseech you all to pray for me." So during his trial, Northumberland was pointing out that it could not be treason to act in accordance with his king's wishes and also Queen Jane's wishes and under her warrant and seal, and that he was being judged by those who also originally acted as he did in accordance with Edward VI's wishes and Queen Jane's commandments. Of course, this didn't get him anywhere, and he was still found guilty and condemned to death. The sentence of a full traitor's death was commuted to beheading, though, so thankfully he did get a more merciful end. Northumberland was beheaded on the 22nd of August 1553. As for those tried with him on this day in 1553, the Marquis of Northampton and John Dudley, Earl of Warwick, Northumberland's eldest surviving son, were later released. However, John died shortly after his release in October 1554. I'll give you a link to my video on Northumberland's arrest so you can find out more about that. Also on this day in Tudor history, the 18th of August 1587, the first child born to English settlers in the New World was born at Roanoke Colony. Her name was Virginia Dare. This colony has become known as the Lost Colony because all 115 colonists disappeared. Find out more in last year's video, and you'll find a link to that in the description. Thank you for joining me today. You can subscribe to the channel by clicking round about there. You can hit the bell to be notified as these videos go live. You can give me a like and leave me a comment. I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.